I got all these comments asking for a jumbo cheese. I actually have made a 5-foot cheese. So I'm literally sitting inside of the cheese right now. And I even made a paper squishy cheese inside of it. I'm gonna insert some videos so you can see. The first side is finally done, and now I have to repeat the same steps 5 more times. All 6 sides are done. Now it's time to assemble. Okay, so it's all built, and this is how it's looking. And the last thing to do is add stuffing. I definitely underestimated how much stuffing I was going to need, so I'm gonna fill it with all my other squishies. Ducky. I'm gonna give you guys a tour. So I brought all of my little squishies in here. And then I have a little chair over there and some water, a charger, my giant smushers, pillow, and I'm about to make a mini cheese squishy inside of my cheese squishy. Make sure to go watch that video next. My sister just gave me this basket of squishies, but they're kind of dirty, so let's give them a bath. This one is so good. And the big ice cube too. This is one of my favorites, I think. First, I'm just going to add some water. And then some soap. There's so much hair on them. They honestly feel so much better with soap on them. Next, I'm just going to rinse them off now. They're looking so much better. Now I'm going to dry them off. Jumbo paper squishies versus small paper squishies. First, I have a small cake and a big cake. Big needle versus little needle. Next is the small dumpling. Now the ice cream cone. I don't have a mini Lay's, so I'm just going to do Doritos. And now the butter. And then small smushers versus big smusher. I also have these other 3 smushers. What other jumbo squishy should I make next? Let's open these Neato paper squishy blind bags. I have 4 of them to open, and we can get a common, a rare, or an ultra rare. So let's see which one we get. Let's open the first one. That was a bad tear. Got the jellyfish. This one is a rare. On to the next one. Let's see if we can get a better tear. That was way better. I got the basic nice cube. This one's so good. I have 2 of them left now. I got the ultra rare. I got a mini nice cube in the box. This one's definitely my favorite so far. And now for the last one. I got the ice cream. Let me know what other blind bags you want to see next. Let's make a DIY fidget board. First, get a piece of cardboard and put on a label. And then just gather some supplies that you want on your board. I'm going to be using a hot glue gun to glue it onto the board. And then I put some slime in a bag and I'm going to add it to the board. I'm also going to add this tab of paw squishy. I'm going to put this DIY wax cracking squishy that I made right here. I have some of these wood blocks. I'm just going to glue them like this. I just added 3 rows of those. Next, I'm going to glue this ladder right here. And then I have a bunch of these sticks, and I'm just going to glue them down. Next, I'm going to glue down these wooden circles. I have some of these mini Christmas trees, so I'm going to glue them onto the board. And then for the last thing, I'm just going to add some dots with hot glue. This is how it turned out. In my next video, I'm going to be rating each thing on the fidget board. Part 2 of the wax cracking squishies. Let's make a Neato TV. If you guys haven't watched them yet, make sure to watch part 1 through 3 because I'm making a 10-foot Neato house. I'm also planning on adding more stuff for inside the fridge. Okay, back to the TV. I'm gonna grab some paper, some markers, I have to move this out of the way, and some scissors and tape. I'm gonna lay out 4 sheets of paper like this and tape them together. This is literally my favorite squishy right now. Anyways, I made another one of the same thing. I'm going to make the screen blue, and then I'm also going to write Neato on the front. So here's what it looks like, and now I'm going to stack it on top of the other sheet and tape the sides. I also added a top layer of tape to make it look glossy. Now I'm going to stuff the inside. I use polyfill stuffing, and you can find it at Walmart or Hobby Lobby. Now I have a squishy TV. I attached it to this computer stand so it could stand up by itself. So now I have the TV, but now I'm going to need a remote. Now I have a squishy remote. Let's do a tour inside the 5-foot cheese. Over here, of course, I have the little cheese squishy. And then I have all of my other squishies that I have made in my previous videos. I also just made this little cheese inside of here in my other video. Also, if you guys haven't seen, I also made a 6-foot butter, 3-foot Neato, and a 6-foot Dubai chocolate. Back here, I have a little pillow. And then my jumbo smushers over here. And then I have a little station to make paper squishies. And of course some water. I also have my portable charger. A clipboard to make my paper squishies on. It's honestly so cozy in here. It's pretty spacious too. There's a lot of space. This could literally be like a mini house. And I would definitely live in here. So that was the tour, and now I'm gonna sit here for hours and play with my paper squishies and probably watch YouTube. Also, if you're not already, hit the follow button to see a 10-foot Neato, and I'm gonna turn it into a house. I'm thinking of adding like a squishy couch and like stuff like that and decorate the inside. Testing 6 different paper squishy fillings. I made 6 of these and I labeled what is going to go inside. I'm going to start with the slime one first. The slime is really pretty, but it's not that stretchy. I don't think I got enough, but it's just going to have to work. I actually found some slime, so I'm going to add the rest into here. This one is way better. Alright, now I'm going to close it. Next, I'm going to try shaving cream. And now I'm going to tape it closed. Now I'm going to do the pebbles. I'm really excited for this one, so I feel like it's going to be so crunchy. Now I'm going to tape it closed. This one's flown now. It's kind of like a styrofoam, like slime kind of thing. This stuff is honestly so cool. I'm going to mix these two together. And then I'm going to put it inside of our paper squishy. I only have 2 more left. I have confetti and Play-Doh. I don't know if it's just me, but does anybody else hate the smell of Play-Doh? I'm shaping it into a cube, and now I'm going to put it inside of the paper squishy. For the last one, I have confetti. Make sure to come back for make sure to come back for part 2 to see me squeeze all of them. Let's make the viral wax cracking squishy with a water bottle. First, I'm going to cut out a sheet of paper. I cut it out this size, and now I'm going to color it in. This is the design that I'm going to do. Next, I'm taking a water bottle, and I'm going to cut it the size of the paper. Make sure it's the same height as the paper. Next, wrap it around the water bottle and tape it. Next, trace the top and the bottom, and then tape the bottom piece on the bottom. This is what it should look like, and now I'm taking some stuffing and putting it inside the paper squishy. Last step, I'm going to put the top piece. This is how it turned out. Let's make a giant smusher. I already made a yellow one, but I want to make 3 more and hang them up on my wall right there, and then 1 on each side. Also, if you're new here, this is normal. I made a giant 6-foot butter. I have a giant Lay's chips over here, and my glitter dumpling. I also made like a 6-foot Dubai chocolate. I made a Neato house, so just go check out my page if you want to see those. I'm going to start by drawing all the faces first. I just finished making all the faces, and now let's make the actual smusher. First, I'm just laying down a blue tablecloth, and then just add stuffing in the middle of it. Kind of like shape it in a circle. And then just start folding the tablecloth over and taping it. Then when you're done taping, just flip it over, and then just tape the face on. I just also made the other 2. Lastly, I'm going to put them in a clear bag, and then I made these labels for the top of the bag. Now I just have to hang them up. They all look so cute. Which one is your favorite? My favorite is the little doggy. Let's make a paper squishy coach purse. You will need paper, scissors, clear tape, markers, and stuffing. First, I started by drawing this template, and now I'm going to color it in. Next, I'm going to stack it on top of 3 other sheets of paper and cut it out. Now you should have 4 sheets just like this, and now finish coloring it in. You can color it however you want. Next, stack 2 sides together like this, and then tape and stuff. Now repeat the same process for the other 2 pieces. I also just made this long strip of paper, and I'm going to tape it around the edge of this one. It should look something like this. Then take your last piece and tape it on the back. Now we just have to make the strap. I cut out a strip and fold it in half, and now I'm going to color it in and tape it closed. And then just attach the handle and add whatever you want inside the bag. In my next video, I will do a paper squishy purse tour. Day 1 of filling up my 6-foot tall butter with mini butter squishies. I'm so close to 200,000 followers, so I thought I would fill up that with probably like 200 of these ones. So let's see how many I can make right now. I'm going to give you a tutorial on how to make one of them, and then I'll just make the rest off camera. I'm using yellow paper so I don't have to color it all in, but you could also use white paper. And then any clear tape, scissors, a marker, and then stuffing. First, fold your paper in half, and then open it up and fold this part in half and this part in half. And then also cut out 2 squares to tape to this side and 1 right here. Next, just draw on the butter design. Now I'm going to cover the whole thing with tape. And then just fold it and stuff the inside. And that's how I'm going to be making all of the rest of them. So far I have 1, and 2. How many butters do you think it'll take to fill up this giant butter? Let's make a super slow rising panda squishy. You're going to need a tissue, some saran wrap, stuffing, markers, and clear tape. First, lay out a tissue, add some stuffing in the middle, and then start folding the tissue around the stuffing and then tape it closed. You're just going to want to tape it closed like this and then flip it over. Make sure to try to make the tissue as smooth as possible. And then carefully draw the face on the squishy and make sure to do it very lightly or else it'll break. And then just wrap the saran wrap around the squishy. Try to make the front of it as flat as you can and then slowly wrap it around the back. And then flip it over and tape it closed. Here's what it should look like. The tighter you wrap it, the more slow rising the squishy will be. It kind of feels like a sticky bread texture.